This is not coffee. I know, it says coffee on the cup. It says coffee on the menu. It says coffee on the app. But what is actually inside this cup will genuinely disturb you. This is not a health drink. This is not even really a coffee drink. What Starbucks is selling you, and what millions of Americans are drinking every single morning, is liquid diabetes. And in the next 8 minutes, you are going to find out exactly why I can say that. Now, before we go any further, I want to be clear about one thing. I am not here to shame you for what you order. This video is not about judgment. It is about what Starbucks has been deliberately keeping from you. First, there is one word on Starbucks' ingredient list that the EPA says has no safe amount: 0. I will show you exactly where they hide it. Second, the US government asked Starbucks one question. Starbucks has not answered. I will tell you what that question was. And third, the 3 drinks Starbucks employees actually order for themselves. You will not find them on the menu board. Stay with me, because what I am about to show you changes how you will look at that menu forever. This conversation is not starting here. It has been going on for months, inside Starbucks itself. Baristas across America have a term for the drinks they make every day. They call them, and these are their words, not mine, diabetes in a cup. One barista wrote, "I have had multiple customers tell me they are pre-diabetic and can no longer get their favorite drink. They are in their 30s, and I am the one who made it for them every single day for years." That is not a health blogger. That is the person who made your drink this morning, and now it has gone all the way to the top of the US government. On February 26th of this year, America's Secretary of Health, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., stood on a stage in Austin, Texas, in front of thousands of people, on national television, and he said, quote, "Show us the safety data that proves it is okay for a teenage girl to drink an iced coffee with 115 grams of sugar in it." He then paused and said, "I do not think they are going to be able to do it." That was in February. It is now May. Starbucks has not said a single word back. Not a press release, not a tweet, not a statement, nothing. And we are going to talk about why in just a moment. Let us start with the numbers, because the numbers are the foundation of everything else in this video. The American Heart Association has a daily sugar limit. For women, 25 grams per day. That is your total. Breakfast, lunch, dinner combined. For men, 36 grams per day. Now here is what Starbucks is selling you. A grande caramel frappuccino, 55 grams of sugar in one drink before 9 a.m., before you have eaten anything. That is more than 2 full days of the recommended limit in a single cup. Pumpkin spice frappuccino, 65 grams. White hot chocolate, 69 grams. And Dunkin's medium caramel creme frozen coffee, 132 grams. That is the equivalent of 6 servings of vanilla ice cream in one drink. But here's what Starbucks understands about you that you may not understand about yourself. You do not see this as sugar. You see it as caramel drizzle, as sweet cream foam, as a pumpkin spice experience. They do not put sugar drink on the menu board. They call it a handcrafted beverage experience. That language is not accidental. That is strategy. Quick question. Drop your answer in the comments right now while you are watching. What is your usual Starbucks order? Be honest. No judgment here. I want to see how many of us are drinking a full day of sugar before breakfast without even realizing it. Drop it below. I read every single comment. Now, the sugar is bad enough, but I told you at the start that there is a specific ingredient in Starbucks products that independent lab testing just flagged at levels the EPA says are unsafe. That is coming up next. And when I tell you what it is, you will understand why Starbucks went completely silent after RFK's challenge. Now, the ingredient I mentioned at the start. Here is what independent lab testing found inside Starbucks coffee, published in a class action lawsuit filed in January 2026. Independent testing detected 3 chemicals inside Starbucks decaf coffee: methylene chloride, benzene, and toluene. Methylene chloride. The EPA has classified this as unsafe for consumption at any level. Any level. 0 is the only safe amount. It was detected at 22 parts per billion. Benzene. The EPA says 5 parts per billion is the maximum safe level in drinking water. It was detected at 28 parts per billion in Starbucks coffee, nearly 6 times the limit. These are not flavoring chemicals. These are not preservatives. Methylene chloride is used in paint strippers. Benzene is a known human carcinogen linked to leukemia. And Starbucks' response to this lawsuit? They said they did not violate any current federal regulations, which is technically true, because the regulations have not caught up yet. That is not a defense. That is a loophole. 5. Mini hook. Now I know what you are thinking. This was in the decaf coffee. What about the regular drinks? The frappuccinos, the syrups, the caramel sauce? That is exactly what RFK was asking about. And that is exactly why Starbucks went silent. The answer is coming up. Okay, so we have covered the sugar numbers, we have covered the chemicals in the lab testing, but here is what nobody is connecting, and it is the reason I actually made this video. Starbucks knows. They have always known. These drinks are not an accident. Sugar activates the same reward pathways in your brain as addictive substances. The more you consume it, the more your taste receptors adapt. The more they adapt, the more sugar you need to feel the same satisfaction. That escalation is not a side effect. It is the business model. You are not addicted to the coffee. You are addicted to the sugar they engineered into the coffee. And that addiction is worth billions of dollars a year to them. Now, why did Starbucks not respond to RFK's challenge? Because responding means producing safety data. And producing safety data means admitting what is in the drinks. RFK did not just ask them to explain the sugar. He referenced a new government regulation, the closure of the GRAS loophole. GRAS stands for Generally Recognized as Safe. For decades, food companies have been allowed to self-certify their own ingredients as safe. No independent testing required. No government approval needed. Just the company saying, "Trust us." RFK closed that loophole in February 2026. Starbucks and Dunkin' are now legally required to produce actual safety data. Data they were supposed to have maintained all along. They have not produced it. That is why they are silent. Now, I know most of you are still going to go to Starbucks, and honestly, that is fine. A treat is a treat. This is not about never. This is about knowing what you are consuming, because Starbucks is betting you will not look. I promised you 3 drinks that their own people use. Here they are. Number 1, cold brew. No syrup, splash of oat milk. 0 added sugar, maximum caffeine. Tastes like actual coffee. Number 2, iced Americano. 1 pump of flavoring instead of the default 4. You still get the sweetness, you cut 80% of the added sugar. Number 3, unsweetened iced green tea. 0 grams of added sugar, same price as the drink that just gave you 65 grams of it. 3 orders, still Starbucks, just without the liquid diabetes. Before I let you go, I want to hear from you. Has Starbucks or sugary coffee ever affected your health? Maybe a diabetes scare, maybe a weight gain story. Maybe you quit and felt completely different in a week. Or maybe you used to work at Starbucks and you have stories about what you saw behind the counter. Tell me in the comments. The wildest story I read this week, I will pin to the top of this video. So let us bring this together. You now know what is actually inside these drinks. Not just the sugar, but the chemicals that independent testing found and that Starbucks has not denied. You now know why the US government demanded Starbucks produce safety data, and why Starbucks has gone completely silent. And you have 3 drinks you can order tomorrow that will not do any of this to your body. One thing before you leave. Pull out your phone right now. Open the Starbucks app. Find your last order. Look at the sugar content. The number you see will surprise you, and you will not be able to unsee it. If you want to know which other food brands are running the exact same playbook, hiding dangerous ingredients behind billion-dollar marketing campaigns, subscribe, because that is exactly what this channel exposes every single week. And if this video opened your eyes, this one will blow your mind completely. I showed over 20,000 people the disturbing reality of ultra-processed food. It is right here. Watch it before you eat anything else today.